Hello and welcome back to the Off-Grid family. I was mooching around on the internet the other day and I've been after a resin printer for a long time and they cost too much. They're just too expensive for me. And I saw one that was very cheap and I looked into the company, and basically what they do is they take their Amazon returns. It's the main company's Amazon returns come back to them and they can't sell them as new, so they sell them on as second-hand units. And I read all the reviews and I looked into the company a bit because there's a lot of sketchy stuff on the website, on the internet, and I didn't want to spend it. I think it was £67. Doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, but that's a lot of money for me, you know, especially buying something just for myself. And so I ummed and ahed about getting it and looked into them more and more and reached out to them, had a chat with them, and they chatted back to me. It's a Chinese company, so they didn't chat back straight away, but the very next day I had information about what all the questions I'd asked. So I thought, you know what, they're responsive. I've checked out the reviews. I've made sure the reviews are legitimate reviews. So I ordered one of their resin printers. About a day later, I got a message from them saying, we're awfully sorry, we haven't got any resin printers at the moment, but we'll send you out a filament printer, and as soon as a resin one comes in, we'll send that to you as well. And I was like, what's going on? So I messaged them. They said, no, you can have the filament printer for free. That is just as a sorry, and the resin printer will be with you in about a week. So just, wait for it, but that's our way of saying sorry. I was like, that's insane. So let's have a look at the filament printer they've bought now. They've sent out to me, now. And we'll go from there, and then we'll have a look at the resin one if and when it arrives on a separate video. Now, I do want to say, they have no idea I've got a YouTube channel. I didn't mention that at all. I never do when I'm reviewing stuff because I don't want to give it a biased twist. Because I've noticed if you say, I run a YouTube channel, suddenly you've got the best customer service, the best things get sent to you, all that stuff. There's no point doing a review if you're only going to get the best side of things, if that makes sense. So let's have a look at the filament one they've sent out, and then, as I say, the next video I do will be on the resin one if they actually send it out to me. Anyway, let's get on. Okay, let's have a proper look inside and see how it is in there. I literally don't know what to expect, to be honest, so let's just see. Okay, wow. The fact it's obviously been used, and it's been chipped. Now, the fact that that survived with the tiny bouts of packing stuff in there, and the fact that it wasn't connected to anything, is quite astonishing. Right. Okay, so from what I can see, there's a few little scuff marks. Oh, that's just coming off. Probably just okay. What I'm going to do then is let's get it out and we'll have a look. Okay, the first thing I can see is that this is bent. Not bent, but it's not right. So if I just... Is that better? I believe that is correct. I will check that in a minute, but that's that sorted. And I have looked around and I can't see any more physical damage. There was the problem with the bed, but how weird is this? It's also got the magnetic bed. So I don't know why you'd need a glass bed as well. So yeah, that's a little strange. But I will investigate. I'm going to go read the manual and I'll be back in a sec. Right, when buying these, the FLASHFORGE store that I bought it from say that they don't guarantee anything else is in there apart from the actual printer. So you don't get the tools, you don't get, any of the bits and bobs that you'd think. This would normally come with some filament, a removal tool, different screwdrivers and so on, needle and a glue stick and some other stuff. But this didn't. But I will say, this still came with a blinking USB drive. Always be careful, always virus check those things. But so far, I'm pretty damn impressed with it. The one thing they do say as well is, they don't guarantee these, so if they're damaged, they're damaged. However, if they say, if they are unusable, get in touch and they'll do the best they can. And a lot of people just get a brand new one sent out, so like, well, a replacement, not a brand new one, obviously. But, I'm fairly impressed how good it looks, to be honest. Anyway, sorry, I keep reading and then wanting to tell you guys something and then reading and, you know. So I'll be back probably in 2 minutes to tell you something else that I found. Right, I'm slowly working my way through the manual, and one thing I've noticed or worked out or seen or read or whatever I'm trying to say in English is that this is a backfeed one. So this goes on here for the filament, and then the filament comes up and around the back, which is a little bit unusual in my opinion, but it's not, you know, it's not a major issue. So I'm going to now start to slowly get ready to turn it on and do a very quick test print, I think, just because I want to see if everything moves as it should. What I'll do is I'll turn it on and I'll have a fiddle with all of the movements and so on and see what happens. I was playing me a little jingle. Let's have a look at the old LCD. I'm making the assumption that this was owned by a guy called Barry, but just could be my imagination. Right. This apparently is touchscreen, and I should hope it is. Yep. Is there anything else? No. Oh. Ah. Okay. Fair enough. Settings. Now this is something I quite liked. It's Wi-Fi enabled already. I don't have to make anything to do it. Nice. If we press this button, upgrade here, it just upgrades to a completely new one. Not really. Factory reset. I think I'm going to do that straight away. Yes. Right, I'm going to go through this and I'm going to have a look at all of the bits and bobs, and I'm going to get the build plate leveled, I'm going to get some filament in, and I'm just going to give it a go, see what happens. And then eventually I will do a full tutorial on how to use this, as long as it's all working. But while I'm trying to learn how to do it, I might as well do it on my own and then, you know, come back to it at a later date. Right, the first major problem we've come across. This is the limit switch here for the thing to go back on, and look, doesn't touch. So either something's missing, like something was on here and it's fallen off, or I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're just going to mess about and do something else. But what can we do? Give me a few minutes and I'll figure something out. Okay, all I've done is put a little bend in it. So now when it goes back, can you hear that click? I know I'm more supposed to be judging the service of sending it out and what quality the printer is when it's finished, right? But I've never leveled a bed that easily in my life before. That was a really beautiful thing. I'm happy with that side of things. Right, I'm going to add in the filament now and then a test print, I think. I know, it's a lovely colour. Let's see how fast it heats up. Okay, cool. Not super fast, not super slow. I like the fact that it tells me when it's actually heated up, and there is buttons to turn off the different sounds and stuff. Right, fine, I'm going to play around again for a bit. Right, this is just a few of the prints I've done. This is not all at once, obviously. They're different colours, etc. And I was testing out vase mode and various other modes. But it has worked beautifully. Like this here is on rough, and the layer lines are very, very small. It's just absolutely beautiful. I've tested very, very thin 3D prints. These are just 1mm. And just, you know, I tested all sorts of different things. Benchy came out absolutely beautiful. I have not done a single thing to Benchy. That is exactly how it came off the bed. There was no hair, no nothing. And, there's a few bits between it if you ever like. But this is old filament. I'm trying to use this filament up. So, you know, the fact that it's old filament, just, it's insane. Very, very good. But we'll talk about all the pros for it and if there's any cons in a minute. And then I got a bit silly and I did vase mode all the way down to a completely idiotically small level. That small. I'm not sure if you can see, but that is actually a vase. There is a gap down the middle, but it's not showing up very well on here. But I really do think this is an incredible piece of kit. It's very, very intuitive to set up and works really, really well. Every feature I've used of it works perfectly. Okay, do you know what? I absolutely genuinely love that printer. That has become my new favourite printer. The speed it can print at is, you know, it's double what my Ender 3 can do. There's so many features that come as standard. So like you can connect to it over Wi-Fi. You can it's got filament checking, so if the filament runs out, it will automatically pause. You change the filament, it carries on. It's got like audible tones to tell you when different things are. Leveling the bed on that was the easiest bed I've ever leveled. Literally, it was like 3 buttons and it was done, and it worked straight away, you know. I was extremely shocked how good this printer was. Now, if you were to buy this new, well, if I was to have bought that new, I'd be happy with it. So the fact that I got it basically as a free gift is just mental to me, you know. But as I say, we will check out the other 3D printer when and if it arrives. If it doesn't, then this is a very annoying 3D printer, if that makes sense, because I've paid what I would have paid for a second-hand resin one for a FDM printer that I didn't actually want. So, although I love it, we'll see what happens. So next week or the week after, I'll hopefully do a video on the resin printer, if it arrives. If not, I'll do a video on what's been said, and I might even show some videos or screenshots or whatever of the interactions. I don't like to put a company under the bus, especially if they try to help. So I will judge what I do wisely, and they have been, I will say this now, whether they send out the resin one or not, the guy I'm speaking to in China is very, very helpful. He's very apologetic that there wasn't one, because originally he was going to send me an upgraded one, but they don't actually send them in the UK. So once he'd said that, he then had to message me again saying, I'm really sorry, but those ones aren't sent out to the UK at the moment. That wasn't his fault. And the problem that he's got in the UK at the moment is the distribution place he's got, there's a bit of a communication barrier, and they're struggling to do anything. So they are trying, but there are a few issues in the works from what I can tell. So anyway, I will keep you updated on everything, and basically just watch this space. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and you can see what happens. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.